In today's video, I'll be showing you how I restored my BMW's window trim from this old oxidized aluminum to look sleek and gloss black just using some wrap. So I went ahead and shot this part of the video afterwards, and you can see everything's already fully wrapped in gloss black, and it just looks so much better. It looks more sleek and elegant than the old worn out oxidized silver on this piece here. And so here I went ahead and bought this roll of gloss black wrap. It's 10 foot by 5 foot, so 10 feet long, 5 feet wide. And I'll have the link down below where you can get yours, but this should be the perfect size to basically do the entirety of all of your window trim and still have a lot left over. Because especially for this long window piece that curves all the way around the back, you're going to need a longer roll of wrap. Otherwise, you're gonna have to cut in two sides. It just looks ugly. You can see where there's gonna be a cut in the middle. So we wanna wrap this entire piece all in one go. So a 10-foot roll should be perfect to get the entire length of this long window trim, especially because of the weird shape to it. And so opening it up, the only thing that this is going to come with is the wrap, and then a little instruction manual that's just gonna kind of give you some basics on how to apply wrap. You're not gonna get any tools or anything in the box, so I'd highly recommend you use some sort of squeegee tool or some applicator tool to put this wrap on nice and smooth. If you don't have that, you can use a credit card with a little piece of cloth at the end, and that'll help you seal everything down and not get any bubbles. And the first thing we're going to do is cut the plastic tape off so we can unroll this wrap. Just be careful not to actually cut the wrap itself and then damage it. And ideally we want a very flat surface because this window trim, like I said, it's very long, it's a weird shape. So we want to lay the wrap down on a flat surface, that way it's easier to actually apply it. And now we're going to start marking the wrap so we can actually cut. So what you want to do is mark about an inch below and an inch above wherever you're going to cut the wrap out. That way you have some wiggle room to go. And then we'll mark right over there on the outside. That way we know what we actually have to cut, so we can make this a lot more manageable and actually lay the wrap down. But now that we cut the wrap that we're going to use off, let's go ahead and place the rest of this roll off to the side so it's out of the way. And now what we want to do is go ahead and grab some isopropyl alcohol on a microfiber towel, and we're going to go ahead and wipe down all of the trim pieces that we plan on wrapping. And we're using a microfiber because it's lint free, and that'll mitigate any bubbles or anything like that. And now what we're going to do is cut off all the other pieces so I can complete the rest of the window trim. And I'll show you as an example with the smaller piece how you're supposed to actually put this wrap on. So we'll go ahead and peel off the back part that protects the adhesive. And now that we wiped the trim piece down with some isopropyl alcohol, we'll just simply lay it flat against the adhesive part of the wrap. And now let's go ahead and turn this over, and then we'll press everything down nice and tight. And now what we go ahead and do is grab some sort of blade or cutting tool, and then we're going to poke the blade through, and this is going to help us make a clean, even cut because the blade is actually resting against the trim piece. And this is the cutting tool that I'm using. It actually uses a ceramic blade instead of a metal one, and that actually helps prevent you from scratching up or damaging anything that the blade comes in contact with. And now I'm going to go ahead and get some scissors to cut off some of the stray ends and make this look a lot more clean. Perfect. Now we're going to go down to our Pack-a-Punch and go ahead and grab your heat gun. And what we're going to do is put this on about medium level heat, and we're going to keep it moving back and forth. Don't leave it in one place too long, otherwise you're going to burn or make a hole. And then once it's hot, you're simply going to press down the middle and then roll the excess off to the edges, and then keep on applying heat because we really want to make sure that the edges of the wrap are fully on. Perfect. And look how this is looking so much better already. Look at this clean gloss black look. It looks so good. And then now we're going to go ahead and apply some more heat on the tip, and then this is going to clean everything up, and that looks really good already. And now we're going to go ahead and move up to a little bit of a longer trim piece. So I went ahead and already cut off the amount of wrap that I'm going to need. And then now that I verified this is going to be the appropriate length, let's go ahead and peel off the white backing so we can expose the actual adhesive. And now you want to be very careful and look over the adhesive layer because you want to make sure there's no rocks or anything that could create any bubbles. Let's go ahead and grab our trim piece, and then we'll lay it flat down as well. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and pick this up, and then we really want to seal down the flat surface, so go ahead and press that down into place. And now what you want to do is stab your blade through the wrap, and then look how I have the blade resting on the edge of the trim piece. That way once I start to make the cut, it's all nice and even and it's a straight line. And I highly recommend that you pierce the blade through the non-adhesive side, this will actually help you cut a lot easier. And I want you guys to look just how much better this gloss black wrap looks. So the trim before looked absolutely hideous. You can see I already went ahead and actually installed the new trim piece that we wrapped up, and it just looks so much better and so much more clean. And yeah, guys, the old aluminum trim just gets really distorted over time, gets oxidized, and ends up looking terrible. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start to add on some of the trim pieces that we just wrapped. And so for this little corner piece, you'll actually have to remove the mirror. So we went ahead and actually did that right now. It's going to be 3 T30 screws. So go ahead and loosen those out of place. Then we'll unplug the connector to the actual mirror itself. And then now that we actually put the large trim piece back onto the vehicle, what you wanna do is actually grab that cutting tool that you have, and you can carefully start to clean all this up. So let's go ahead and make that cut across, and we can peel off some of that excess. And now when it comes to the E92 trim, you're going to have one piece that slides into place. So I want you to take a look right here. This piece actually slides into all of these clips. And so if you have a lot of excess wrap on the back side, this isn't going to sit in place properly. So you want to be sure to actually get a blade and clean this up and cut off some of that excess wrap on the back. That way we can slide this piece into place and it fits properly. And so we'll go ahead and open up the door to my E92, and now I'll show you guys that you can actually slide this into place through all these clips. And you want to be extremely careful when you're sliding this part through, because it's very common that this little trim piece bends, especially right here. So just be careful that you're feeding this through perfectly symmetrically and that you're not bending downwards or upwards on the metal. And you can see once we get to the back here, you want to go ahead and tuck the excess wrap that's peeking out, and then we can use a plastic credit card or something of the sort to actually tuck all this into place. And now I want to show you guys something for reference. This piece here was actually painted gloss black by myself years ago. And you can see if you paint your trim, what happens is it becomes oxidized and it gets chipped over time. Unless you take it to a professional shop to get professionally spray painted and clear coated, it ends up looking terrible over time. You can see it's almost like a gray color compared to the new gloss black wrap. So I'd highly recommend you honestly just wrap your trim, and unless you're gonna get it professionally done, don't paint it. And now that I wrapped a smaller piece just to show you, this is what the larger window trim piece looks like wrapped in gloss black. And now let's go ahead and grab the other side's window trim, and we want to be extremely careful that we don't scratch up our paint. An extremely important note is that you want to put all of these retention clips onto the actual vehicle itself. You don't want any of them holding on to the window trim because it makes it harder to install. So you want to take off all the clips from the trim and actually place them in their holes. And that way all we have to do is simply line up our window trim just like this and then push it into place. No wiggling, no trying to fit anything in, and this drastically reduces the chances of you accidentally breaking one of the window clips. And overall, guys, you can see the trim looks so much better. The new gloss black look makes it look extremely sleek and elegant, and overall just takes years off of the car. I hate the way the chrome trim looks. It gets very damaged and it gets swirl marks and oxidized, but let me know what you think. Do you prefer the look of the chrome trim, or do you like the shadow line trim? What's your thoughts? Leave them down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.